When did you first fall in love with robotics or even computer science more in general?
Computer science first at a fairly young age. Robotics happened much later. I I think my first interesting introduction to computers was in the late 80s when we got our first computer. I think it was an IBM, I think IBM AT. Do you remember those things that had like a turbo button in the front?
Turbo button,
Right,
yeah.
you would press it and make the thing goes faster.
Did that already have floppy disks?
Yeah. Like the 5.4-inch ones.
I think there was a bigger inch. So it went something, then 5 inches, then 3 inches.
Yeah, I think that was the 5. Maybe that was before that was the giant plates, and I didn't get that. But it was definitely not the 3-inch ones. Anyway, so that we got that computer. I spent the first few months just playing video games, as you would expect. I got bored of that, so I started messing around and trying to figure out how to make the thing do other stuff. Got into exploring programming, and a couple of years later, I got to a point where I actually wrote a game, a little game, nice. And a game developer, a Japanese game developer, actually offered to buy it for me for a few $100, but for a kid in Russia,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah. I did not take the deal.
Wow, integrity.
Yeah, I instead
stupidity.
Yes, that was not the most acute financial move that I made in my life. Looking back at it now, I instead put it. Well, I had a reason. I put it online. It was what you call it back in the days. It was a freeware thing, right? It was not open source, but you could upload the binaries. You would put the game online, and the idea was that people like it, and then they contribute and they send you little donations, right? So I did my quick math of of course, thousands and millions of people are going to play my game. Send me a couple of bucks a piece. Should definitely do that. As I said, not the best financial.
You're already playing with business models at that young age. Remember what language it was? What programming language was it? Basic?
Pascal.
What?
Pascal.
And it had a graphical component, so it's not text-based?
Yeah, it was I think 320 by 200, whatever it was. I think the earlier
That's the resolution.
VGA resolution, right? And I actually think the reason why this company wanted to buy it is not like the fancy graphics or the implementation. It was maybe the idea of the actual game.
The idea of the game, okay. Well, one of the things, it's so funny. I used to play this game called Golden Axe, and the simplicity of the graphics and something about the simplicity of the music, it still haunts me. I don't know if that's a childhood thing. I don't know if that's the same thing for Call of Duty these days for young kids. Yeah. But I still think that when the games are simple, that simple purity makes for allows your imagination to take over, and thereby creating a more magical experience. Now with better and better graphics, it feels like your imagination doesn't get to create worlds, which is kind of interesting. It could be just an old man on a porch waving at kids these days that have no respect, but I still think that graphics almost get in the way of the experience. I don't know.
Flippy Bird.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know if the imagination case closed. But that's more about games that that's more like Tetris World, where they optimally, masterfully, create a fun short-term dopamine experience. Versus, I'm more referring to role-playing games where there's a story you can live in it for months or years. There's an Elder Scrolls series, which is probably my favorite set of games. That was a magical experience, and the graphics were terrible. The characters were all randomly generated, but I don't know. It pulls you in. There's a story. It's like an interactive version of an Elder Scrolls Tolkien world, and you get to live in it. I don't know. I miss it. It's one of the things that suck about being an adult is there's no. You have to live in the real world as opposed to the Elder Scrolls world.
Whatever brings you joy, right? Minecraft, right? Minecraft's a great example. You create, it's not the fancy graphics, but it's the creation of your own worlds.
Yeah, that one is crazy. One of the pitches for being a parent that people tell me is that you can use the excuse of parenting to go back into the video game world, and that's father son, father daughter time, but really you just get to play video games with your kids. So